Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmi Chayachate Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyaha Dadam Yetad Vratam Mama. Sita Rama, Namaste to all. My name is AshruthSuryanarayanan. I'm a Gurukula student and I'm going to be presenting my paper from the Vedas to Valmiki Ramayana. How Sharanagathi is a principle, a leading principle in leadership and governance. One of the key ideas of the Veda is that the Vedas are things, are granthas that are meant to be followed. Sikshanaraha, Pradivaha, Akamatarshanaha. The Devatas are not just simply worshipped, but they are meant to be followed. Shikshanaraha, you are meant to learn from them, you are meant to learn through them. And you are meant to be selfless by following these same Devatas. In this way, we see that there is a sense of worship that is not just praising the Devatas. In fact, people who simply just praise, Neha Badram Rakshasvine, Navayi Lopaya, one who just simply comes, Upagachate, one who simply just comes to the Devata and worships, without having the qualities necessary to follow the Devata. Rakshasvine, one who is selfish, one who does not follow the path of these Devatas, he is condemned by the same Devatas he worships. In this way, there is a very strong sense of following in the footsteps of the Devatas that we worship. That itself is positively told in those same Vedas. Swasti Pantha Municharema Surya Chandramasaviva Punaha Dadata Aghnata. In that way, Swasti Pantha Municharema, may we follow in the path that the same Surya Chandramasaviva, the same sun and moon goes through. In this way, following what values the Devatas set for us is called as true worship, true surrender to these Devatas. It is here where we see the idea of Sharanagathi start to blossom in later philosophy. In fact, one of the key aspects of Sharanagathi, Mitra Bhava, starts in these same Vedas. Prasamitra Bharto Astu Prayasvana Yasta Aditya Shikshati Vratena Nahanyate Najiyate Toto Nainam Amho Ashmot Jantito Nadurat. We call Surya Devata, and the worshipper says, because I am following in your vrata, because I am following what is anukula to you, what is hita to you, I will be protected by you. This is the meaning of surrender, and this is called as mitra. Mitra bhava. Nimira snehane is the root of mitra. This is called as love. This mitra bhava is the relationship between one who surrenders to the Sharanya and the Sharanya himself, this mitra bhava. Another very important concept in Sharanagathi, one all of us knows, Abhaya. Indra Asha Abhyaspari Sarva Abhyo Abhayam Karat Jeta Shatrun Vicharshani. Indra gives Abhaya to all people in all directions, regardless of who they are. He wins over his enemies. Here, Abhaya, in line with this Mitra Bhava of following the Devatas, it doesn't mean that Indra will forgive you for all of your mistakes. It doesn't mean that Indra will protect you completely. It simply means that Indra will give you the courage to face the adversities you have in your life. Indra will stand with you, not just as some higher Devata, but with you as a refuge for you. In this way, Mitra Bhava and Abhaya, these two ideas, serve as the sort of root for Sharanagathi in the Vedas. Where does Ramayana come here? Ramayana serves as a further exemplification of these mantras in Rig Veda for Sharanagathi. Ramayana itself is a Sharanagathi Shastra, it's the essence of Ramayana. Vibhishana comes, Valmiki Ramayana. Vibhishana comes seeking refuge for Rama. Kshipram Nivedeta, without any hesitation he says, just leave me at the feet of Rama. And Vibhishana is after all Ravana's brother, the same man who abducted Rama's wife. His brother is now standing before this Rama and asking for help and refuge. So naturally it's a problematic, place. And Sugriva notices this, he immediately informs Rama. Rama, being the person he is, Maryada Purushottama, the first thing he says is, let's discuss. This is not my option, this is the whole Vanara's action. So let us all discuss together whether we should accept Vibhishana or not. And there is a discussion. Many people give many answers backed by political science, Shastra Buddhya Vichakshana, backed by logic, Nayapanaya Kovidaha. People ask, what is good, what is bad? Should we test him? Should we interview him? Maybe we should send a spy to figure out who Vibhishana really is. And they set out all the whole interview. There's almost a factor analysis that goes on to who Vibhishana is. In this way, all the Vanaras speak. Hanuman finishes. He says, there's no need for all of that because none of that is practical. Karyam hya na upapadyate. There's no point in trying to test Vibhishana because the moment you start trying to test him, you figure out you're trying to test him. Instead, let us look at his body movement, his facial expressions. Clearly shows that he is here for Rama. And Yathartham Rama Gaurava, that is Rama's principle also. In this way, Hanuman, he blends this idea of principle, the Sharanagathi principle that Rama has, with something that is practical. In this way, Hanuman speaks. Rama finishes with his Gaurava, with whatever principle he has in mind. That is the same Mitra Bhava and Abhaya. Mitra Bhavena Sampraptam Natyajeyam Kathanchana Dosho Yadyapi Tasya Syat Satam Etadadarhitam. He says, Mitra Bhava, if somebody comes to me with the same Mitra Bhava, that I am going to follow you without hesitation, he is not blindly accepting Vibhishana. He is saying, he must follow whatever path I am in. If that person comes to me, I will never leave that person. If he has a mistake, I will correct it and move on. I will serve that person and make sure that he improves as a leader. Mitra bhavena sampraptam. In this way he says, and he clearly establishes his idea. Even then people still ask, does it matter if Vibhishana is a good person? He can have Mitra Bhava, for sure. Mitra Bhava, he is coming here to follow Rama, all of that is great. Sudushtova, Yudhushtova, Kimesha Rajanichara. He is a good person or bad person, doesn't matter. He is Ravana's brother, finished. Why should we trust him? Sugriva asks this. This is something we see in management today. There are two conflicting qualities in a leader. A leader has to be assertive, but at the same time a leader has to be compassionate. A leader has to stick with his decisions. But if he's too assertive and he's not compassionate, he'll just be him deciding everything without any consultation with anybody. At the same time, if a leader is too compassionate, he can't even make a single decision. In this way, there are a lot of psychological studies that look at leaders and they say, well, assertiveness and compassion cannot exist in the same place. How do you even balance those two? Rama here shows that. He says this, he's compassionate, Mitra Bhava. The next words he says is, I know my own strength. I know that I can take care of this Vibhishana without him even affecting me. Angulyagrena kamhanyam uchantari hariganeshwara. My value, if I wanted to, I could destroy Ravana's army by myself. That is my strength. I know my strength. So, if Vibhishana is going to harm me just because he is Ravana's brother, it doesn't matter. I can protect him. I have the assertiveness to protect him and the compassion to protect him at the same time. And Rama finishes with the shloka I started at the beginning. Sakradeva prapannaya. If somebody comes to me without hesitation with the same Mitra Bhava and says, I am yours, tapasmiti chayachate. For him I will give this abhaya, this same fearlessness, the ability to sit with him. I will sit with him, I will be with him and help him confront whatever adversity he has in his life. In this way, Rama also advances as a leader. Not just as a god, as a leader, he advances this idea of Mitra Bhava and Abhaya Sharma. Now, for the last part of this paper, I delve into how this helps with modern leadership research today. There's actually a leadership model that is heavily tied with this concept of Sharanagathi that's going around in psychology called servant leadership, where a leader treats the people who he's leading as people who he is serving. He serves the people who he leads. And through that, he improves the organization. It's a very contradictory leadership model because it's very hard to achieve or produce. Right? It goes against leader. Leader should be sitting above. How can he serve people? And so there's a lot of questions on how leaders are created and how servant leaders are created. And there's two psychological concepts today that Ramayana deals with. One is conservation of resources. As a leader, when you serve others, you are giving your resources to others without any expectation for yourself. In fact, psychology says when you're serving other people, you become more stressed. So therefore, it's a negative waste of resources. Ramayana says, if you don't protect the refugee in front of you, that is a negative cost. If I am being capable, not able to protect somebody who has come to me with a genuine sincerity, the cost of not protecting that person is much worse than me just simply, protecting and taking care of that person. Another concept is self-determination theme. The motivation to be a Sharanya, the motivation to be selfless, comes from three aspects in psychology: competency, relatedness, and autonomy. Rama shows all these three qualities. For every single thing he says competency. Shastras are used everywhere. Relatedness. He brings values everywhere. And autonomy. He sticks to himself. Autonomy is assertiveness. That same assertiveness is our compassion. In this way, whatever concept is in the Vedas is taken through the Ramayana and showed as an exemplary form of leadership that we can utilize in our research. Namaste. I believe my time is up. So with this I will finish.